President Obama, a little bit of gloating after the vote yesterday. First of all, let me tell you what happened with the vote. Yeah, it was crushing. 81-18 on the Senate side. It is a clean resolution to open the government back up. Open it! Open these walls, you House Republicans. And in fact, when you go to the House side, it's 285 to 144. All of the 144, of course, were Republicans. But a lot of the Republicans, as you can tell, defected over to the Democratic side and said, what are we, nuts? Obviously, we need to lift the debt ceiling so we don't default on our debt, which would have been catastrophic. So we got it done before the October 17th deadline. It is a complete and utter political loss for the Republicans. Let me explain. The resolution that they voted on funds the government through January 15th. It extends the $16.7 trillion debt ceiling through February 7th. It involves back pay for unpaid and furloughed federal workers. That's good. That gets the money to the people who were not paid and needed it and should have been paid all along. And both chambers have to open up Budget Conference Committee, which is a committee basically where they continue to negotiate over the budget. In other words, total victory. So President Obama and the Democrats said clean, and it is totally clean. The Republicans got absolutely nothing. So here's President Obama with a little, what now, in the morning.
That's not what the founders of this nation envisioned when they gave us the gift of self-government. You don't like a particular policy or a particular president? Then argue for your position. Go out there and win an election. Push to change it. But don't break it. Don't break what our predecessors spent over 2 centuries building. That's not being faithful to what this country's about.
My favorite part of that was go out and win an election. Now, he doesn't quite deliver it like De Niro does in Heat, like clean up, go home. Clean up, go home, right? He just doesn't have that flair. He at least doesn't have it when he gets back into D.C. Sometimes on the campaign trail he has it. So he's got his characteristic pauses, and it doesn't sound overly dramatic. But if you want to change it, go ahead and win an election. It's pretty harsh. I like it. But don't get too excited. Here comes President Obama. Now, in this is hidden a message that is not a good one. Listen carefully.
And now that the government is reopened and this threat to our economy is removed, all of us need to stop focusing on the lobbyists and the bloggers and the talking heads on radio and the professional activists who profit from conflict and focus on what the majority of Americans sent us here to do. And that's grow this economy, create good jobs, strengthen the middle class, educate our kids, lay the foundation for broad-based prosperity, and get our fiscal house in order for the long haul.
All right, now look, most of that is addressed towards the Republicans, the talk radio guys, the activists, the bloggers, etc. But that talk about activists on both sides and the bloggers, it's not just for the right wing. It's basically him saying, hey, don't worry. Now that we're past this, don't get me wrong, I'm totally going to ignore my base too. Well, I've been ignoring them for 5 straight years now. So if you would also do likewise and ignore your base, we can get to the deal we've always wanted to do. And throughout the conference, he kept talking about what he alluded to there at the end, which is getting our fiscal house in order with a balanced approach to reducing the debt. As I've told you a million times, that means, of course, cutting Social Security and Medicare. And whether it involves any further taxes from the rich or corporations is unclear. Well, actually, the corporation part is clear. They're going to lower corporate tax cuts because that's both in the Democratic and Republican proposals. How's that for not surprising? So the answer to what now is, ha ha, I got you, plus we'll work together very soon to screw over the American people. Some good news and then not so good news. But hey, listen, I could be wrong. We know what just happened, and that's definitely good news. And let's hope that I'm wrong about the upcoming bad news, okay? Only man in America who keeps rooting to be wrong. I've been doing it for a long time. I wish my prayers would get answered every once in a while and I'd be proven wrong. And that President Obama would come out as a lion, as a progressive, and get a good deal. Because the policy is what matters at the end, not the politics. The politics is terrific so far, but the policy's got to follow. And that's where we often run into problems with the Democrats.